Peace and chaos, light and dark matter. Family, welcome to the first New Birth Energy podcast brought to you by Dark Matter Readings. I am Majestica Melanin, and this is the first podcast of 2021. Today is a recognition of the official new year. We as humans have gotten it wrong over the centuries when we celebrate our new year January 1st. And this episode comes to you on the ancestry new year. So therefore we celebrate the spring equinox when there are new things growing. The sun is arriving again. We have went around the earth in a complete rotation. This past August was the Great Conjunction. So we are still feeling some of that energy going into this new spring equinox, which is the official Ethiopian New Year. Know your history. Know that the dates and things were changed and switched around, and that you should be celebrating coming out of your cocoon, just as the animals hibernate in the winter and they come out in the springtime. And because we are part of this whole ecosystem in nature, we would naturally do the same things. And I feel like this is the reason that I feel compelled to bring to you another podcast. I come to you post-COVID, post-election. We are in this time frame where there's a lot of self-reflection happening. There's a lot of isolation, which can easily become depression and anxiety and fear. So it's very important right now at this time in time, and time is also a social construct. But in this moment that we find ourselves, we have to be more resilient as ever. We have to always be on guard, spiritually and emotionally, mentally, which it affects our physical state. So the decision making that we are doing now in this time, the contemplation that is happening, the stress levels, the worries, the anxiety, the uncertainties, all these things are compiling collectively amongst humankind. And we need to pay attention to this even more. I wanted to isolate myself more so because being an artist, it's necessary. And it allows you to unplug from all the chatter and from all the noise from the outside. And it allows you to tap into your own inner thoughts, to listen to your own inner voice, and to know and understand what is happening on the inside. all day long, every day, we wake up and we immediately think about what has happened on the outside of our beings. It could be from what's on TV to who's ringing my phone to what's for lunch to you're making a phone call to talk about an event that happened. All these things are a reflection of where your mind state, where your spirit is focused on. So think about when you wake up, what is the first thing you do? And you have to understand this. You have to know what is the last thing you think about when you lay down at night. And you need to understand and understand that these are the things that will come to you. These are the things that you are either worried about, happy about, or you are confused about. You are anxious about these things. You are fearful about certain things. And your thoughts are your number one culprits. So let's be mindful, family. Once again, you are tuned in to Dark Matter Readings, New Birth Energy Podcast. And I am your hostess, Majestica Melanin. This evening, I have a great show for you. I want to discuss a number of things that, I've taken time out from the Ethernet world to collect my own thoughts and feelings and emotions and hang-ups and excitement about the world. And that can mean anything to any of us. But when I say the world, we all have our own ideas. So my own ideas are coming to you in the form of respect and in the spirit of sharing and the spirit of healing and the spirit of inner reflection. And this experimental art that I do, that I'm dedicated to, that I share with you, once a month, or when I do decide to come to you, my family, I come with information. I come with inspiration. I come with, usable things that you can incorporate into your own lives and possibly utilize to heal yourself and your family and those loved ones around you, or, just to have an inner peace and to have new perspectives concerning this journey that we're all on, this ride of life that we all get. We get one chance to make things what we want them to be, what we see ourselves doing, and what we yearn for every day. And your journey is totally different from my journey, but yet we are all on a journey. So this podcast is very special to me. When I do decide to come on, just know that it is from a sincere and passionate side of myself that I have accepted. I need to, help others in a sense of allowing the chance and opportunity for us all to be on the same level of spiritual ascension. So I am doing my part. So I want to, as always, start out with just, a list of things that I think is important to promote and for us to consider before I get deep off into tonight's show. I want you all to think about supporting an independent artist, an independent business, minority businesses. I need us to think about where our dollars are going. So I always like to highlight and promote some of our people who are definitely changing lives. They are changing minds. They are transforming a whole generation of youth to make them think critically about their lives and their steps that they're taking, about history, about just knowledge of self and, the world around them and how they play a part. And this work is so important, and it's very, very time consuming. It's exhausting. This work is not rewarded at all. So every chance I get to reward some of my favorite people that I follow, either on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, any of these social media, connections that we all, tap into sometimes. And we get those type of individuals who stand out and they, they make us feel a certain way with their testimonies. And so I am shouting out a couple of those people. The first would be Urban X, the podcast. You need to go over there with Black Dot and his son. They have been doing a great job just covering all the current events and giving valuable perspective on, how they view things, and which is part of our culture, part of the world, part of the influences that are happening that will either make or break our nation as we attempt to gather ourselves and to reset, the energy, because it was definitely broken with this COVID shutdown and just the businesses closing and all this mass talk and, all of this pandemic fear mongering, and as well as the media, just different things that has created isolation, created separation from each other, and being able to mingle amongst each other, to, be close in proximity, and to be able to share in brother and sisterhood, face-to-face interactions. So these outlets, these media, independent media is, it is the move, it is the wave, and I will support any melanated news broadcasting who are doing their part, who are bringing, truth with integrity and honesty, and they're not about clickbait, and they, are very objective. And I just felt this way about Urban X TV. The second YouTube channel that you need to go and subscribe to would be Black Magic 363 with Brother Rich, Father Rich. You know, had the honor of working with this brother, talking to him, building with him. He's on a whole different level. If you go over and subscribe, you will see what I'm talking about. He has a huge following as far as the esoteric culture, the metaphysical culture, and you will find some gems over there from the cryptocurrency, you know, phase or craze. It's not a phase because it's growing, but he's keeping you updated on things that's moving and things that can help build you economically, spiritually, emotionally. He covers it all. So mad respect to that brother, um, brother Rich on Black Magic 363. That's Black Magic with a K. So make sure you go over there. All right. My books for the evening that I will be sharing as far as my book list. I love to give you guys books to read, even though we are in this video world, this, you know, visual stimulation that, you know, sometimes it takes away the sense of objectivity. It doesn't allow you to think on your own. I need you guys to sometimes take the visual aspect out of your scrolling or your, you know, your consumerism. When you go to watch certain things, we have gotten so used to seeing things visually, but that's another reason that I tapped into podcasting, because I believe sound to be the number one healer. Sound can go so far. Sound is another type of medium that penetrates you in a different way. If you think about radio, if you think about just the tape deck that we used to put in, we had no visuals, so it kind of gave you a sense of creating your own images, using your own imagination, using your own instincts, instead of being fed that image, and then it basically takes away your own ideas. So I want you guys to always try to unplug from the visual aspect of consuming information. So when you talk about, you know, books, that's another way that you can remove yourself from the visualization of a topic. And the books that I've been reading lately, I'm going to share. And I want to dedicate this podcast to my father. He recently passed on, transitioned. And I never lost a parent before. And it's weird because when you do lose a parent, you realize just how much you are just like that human being that was here before you, that created you, that brought you into this planet. And as we know, you know, you are your ancestors all over again. So my father has recently joined the ancestral realm, and I give honor to him. I miss him. But I know that when he transitioned, he left behind a treasure of reading materials that I've been digging into, the same concepts, the same books. I just never went about, you know, purchasing every single book, because I have my own collection I am forever, forever grateful for his brain, for his hunger and passion for education and information and knowledge. And it's like I am carrying the torch of what he began. And, retrospect always gets to you, when you lose someone, especially a parent. You think about a lot of things that you could have did or you could have said, that you didn't know. You know it now, but you didn't know it then, and you just kind of think about all the missed opportunities that you could have had, and the conversations. I'm just thinking about the conversations I could have had with my father. I've had many conversations with him, never knowing that he had these type of books, which are on the metaphysical realm, they're on the spiritual realms. They are digging deep into the, esoteric information, the esoteric. So I never knew. This is why this podcast is very special, because I'm going to be sharing one of the books that I did get from him, and it is one of the books that master teacher Bobby Hemmett referenced, and he suggested that we go buy it. And I couldn't believe it when I saw it, but I just know that that is how synchronicity works. This is how the ancestors work, to where, things come together for some reason unknown, unexplained. Let me see if I can find the book. The book is by E. Wallace Budge. E. Wallace Budge. And you might hear Bobby Hemmett talking about it a lot. It's called Egyptian Magic by E. A. Wallace Budge. And it's basically just the study that examines the close connection between magic and religion in ancient Egypt, which is Kemet. And it describes many other religious magical ceremonies and practices. It includes, dreams and lucky days. And it just takes you back to, when horoscopes and when we studied the stars, amulets and, enchantments that we use. And, now we call it superstition, we call it witchcraft, we call it, evil things. And this is basically what our ancestors taught and lived and studied. This book was published in 1899. So, I'm just really opening it up. I probably got to the second or third chapter. My father, he highlighted so many key things in this book. But it just basically gives you the descriptions of, the amulets that the ancient commissions wore, their symbols, what their symbols meant, and the hieroglyphics that you see on the Egyptian walls are basically broken down. It goes into, the Gnostics and the semi-Christian sects, the Christianity that, was embraced by the the Egyptians. We call them Egyptians now. But the Egyptians, they practiced a different kind of a magic, and it's our magic. It's melanated people's magic, and we have been torn away from it so much. And there's no accident that this book came to me. There's none. I don't believe in accidents or coincidences. But I appreciate that my father tapped into this type of information, because unknowingly I was also tapping into it. So that's one book that should be on your reading list. E.A. Wallace Budge, Budge, Egyptian Magic, 1899. I love reading old books because I just feel like the older writers were more honest. They were more clear. They were more honest. They wrote what they saw. They were not with an agenda to change history. I think that started happening in the early 1900s. That there was a conspiracy to hide and cover up and erase African history, African culture, Native American, the Negro history. And now that it's becoming more and more known that this is what has happened, there is a race to correct the record of history. And the work must be done for our next generations. I think the deliberate erasure of African history has set our nation back 100 years. I mean, generations. And the good thing about it is, with the technology that we find ourselves in, this technological age, we may possibly be able to, recover in enough time to save maybe the next 3 generations. So that is one of my goals, is to correct the record of history while motivating, inspiring, and, raising the vibrations and the frequency of melanated beings on the planet. And it's not to disregard any other nations, cultures, ethnicities, races, whatever you want to label this thing. Yet it is to remind melanated beings that they are not insignificant in this humanity that we find ourselves participating in. This world construct that was basically created to control and to, shut down the melanated body, to stop the rise of the Kundalini energy, the collective consciousness of melanated beings, aka Black people. Okay. So, that was one book. And And I'll leave us with this one book, because this one book is enough to keep you all busy. And I will share 1 or 2 books every podcast. Okay, so let's get started. It's going, I've been speaking. Now I've made a few notes like I always do. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Cosmic memories and spiritual quickening. What does that mean? Cosmic memories, spiritual quickening. I thought about these 2 things because of what's happening with the planets, the alignments. If you go and you research the Great Conjunction that happened last year, it basically brought in a new era of being, of beingness, of existing, of existence. If you think about the last time that occurred, there's conjunctions that occur every 20 years. For example, one occurred in 1974 and then 1994. This year. So it's like but then there's another one that happens. I believe they says every 900 years. Some astronomical number. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, but this past one basically was a return of a new consciousness, of a new idealism amongst humanity. It has ushered in this new way of living, this new way of existing. It has people creating their own livelihoods. So many entrepreneurs are becoming successful off of their own ideas. They are creating ways for artists to finally profit from their own creations. The middleman, the banker, the record label, just that middle person that connects, customers to clients, validating that this is official, has literally disappeared. I can be paid directly now. I don't need a third party. This is what has been ushered in, and I believe that it has occurred before. This is the cosmic memories. People are remembering. They are remembering who they are. They are remembering a time of freedom, a time of not being chained. They are thinking about, yearning for that disconnect from basically the government, or the person, the people who have all the control of the resources, the power source, I should say. So think about how you're feeling when you want to relax, when you want to enjoy your life. Are you thinking about going to a 9 to 5? Are you thinking about, working for someone else for the rest of your life like our parents did? The new generations that are coming into this world, into this time, they are finding new and creative ways to live and exist and prosper. Creating things that have not even been thought about, making things even more easier through inventions, through creating of apps and creating of, different platforms to figure out ways to advertise and get paid, and tapping into the system of social media and breaking the code. There is so much innovation happening on a massive level. The cosmic memory is returning to the people. The people are realizing their power. They are realizing who they are. The youth to the elders, they are becoming unprogrammed. They are gaining the knowledge of the old ones that we have become so detached from. We have decided to go back to the source, go back to nature. We are realizing that, correcting the historical timelines and deprogramming ourselves is the new wave. It is the wave that is opening doors for financial freedom, for spiritual freedom, the freedom to create and to be ourselves and to not have to be so much validated within this system that we live in. This system that has squeezed us so tight that we were damn near suffocating. You wonder why we were wearing "I Can't Breathe" t-shirts. It's not a coincidence. From the media, and I always talk about how the media is the biggest mind programmer. You will feel so much better if you stop watching the news. Why are you so addicted to the news? Why can't you close your eyes and meditate and tap into your inner universe? As above, so below. Type it in Google and you will understand what I'm talking about. Not even Google. Go to another engine. I don't care. But you need to understand what's happening on the outside is also happening on the inside. Or you can look at it as micro, macro. You can look at it as spiritual, physical. Whatever happens in the physical part of your body is also happening in the spiritual part of yourself. Let's remember, okay, we're talking about cosmic memory right now. And we're going to get into the spiritual quickening. But I want to make sure that I'm covering everything that I basically jotted down concerning our cosmic substance and our, the synchronicities that are happening when we do tap in, when we start to see the double digits, triple digits, we start to get the messages, the coincidences that we call them, the accidental blessings that we want to say we think we don't deserve. We begin to awaken. We begin to be mindful and grateful, and we begin to open up the third eye, the first eye. Okay, C. Freeman L., he says that the Akashic records are memory banks of DNA. It's a vast body of knowledge that will open up to you. Okay, and this ties into, our eagerness, our anxiousness to learn more, to want to know, the unresolved yearning that we feel. And what's happening is we're tapping in so much into our spiritual realm. We're tapping into, our spirits, our souls, that we become ourselves again. And it creates this type of spiritual quickening. The spiritual quickening, and a lot of the master teachers talked about it, and it always rung true with me. I always resonated when they spoke about spiritual quickening, because I can relate so much to it. And what spiritual quickening is, it just that basically means things are happening faster than they used to. So if you are to pray about something, or you meditate about it, it's no longer you're waiting years and years or months for it to happen. No, it's happening like immediately, immediate turnaround. This is why you need to understand the time period that we're in. We are in a spiritual quickening, meaning if you're not tapped in and you're not aware of your own power, your own self, then you will not feel the spiritual quickening. The spiritual quickening comes when you become conscious of it. And now, since you're conscious of it, you are more intense with the struggles. Something is different. You have unsettled feelings. You have a yearning it feels unresolved. And the more of the things that you don't think about. So it's like you don't think about the things you used to think about. It's an uneasiness. There's an anxiousness. You want to return back to your God self. You want to tap into your shadow. You want to know the other side. You don't want to be the complainer, the critic. You are tapping into your trauma, your pain, your abuse. And even though those things sound dark, which is your shadow side, you deal with this shadow and you tame it. And when you tame it, according to C. Freeman L., that is called Kali, Kali, or Shiva. Shiva, we all know the goddess Shiva. Hell, Shiva is one of the Mortal Kombat characters. So you mean to tell me when you deal with your dark side, you accomplish Shiva or Kali? Okay, this is why I'm bringing to you these topics: cosmic memories and spiritual quickening. All right. We know that the spiritual energy of the kidney dispatches all throughout your body system. So, according to Bobby Hemmett, your kidney is directly attached to your heart. So whatever your heart does, your kidney does. And we wonder why there's a lot of people on dialysis. We wonder why there's a lot of people on, young people, not just the older elders. No, there's young people who have to go to dialysis because they have either lost a kidney, need a kidney. Kidney is, not functioning correctly when 99.9% of us are unaware that the kidney and the heart go hand in hand. Okay? When we take alcohol, drugs, medication, we worry, we stress, we're depressed, we're anxious. All these things affect your heart. And remember, the heart is the first organ upon conception. That's what's there. That's why you go hear the heartbeat. The first thing formed in the womb is the heart. So if this is the case, we know that everything that deals with our heart filters through emotions and what we perceive to be truth in reality. That's what makes us passionate. That's what makes us get up and go and motivates us, because we feel it in our hearts. Now, why would our kidneys dysfunction if our hearts are pure? It can't. It can't. All right. So when we're thinking about, being healthy, being protected, being at peace, being, overall healthy, happy, a sense of just calm and tranquility, we must remember our hearts. We must. Your heart will tell you the truth. So I'm talking about topics that people normally don't think about. There are 3 types of understanding when you're studying. And those 3 types of understanding when you're studying, one, we take things as face value. So for example, when you hear someone talking about anything, they can be talking about, a glass that's half empty. Okay? You have the glass itself, which is what you see on the surface. You have you see the glass is half full, whatever liquid's in there. That's what it is. That's the physical realm. But then you have another level of this glass that can be, if it's half empty, would this be on the symbolic level? When we're talking about what's true, that cup can be a symbol of your own purse or your own home. The cup can become a symbol of something important to you. So we have the surface level and we have a symbol, just with a glass sitting half full or empty. Then you have your deeper metaphysical meaning with this glass. Half full or half empty. And just by me saying half full or half empty touches on a metaphysical level, because now you're thinking, how am I thinking about this glass? So you understand how spiritual happenings, how you cannot get away from the trinity of an object, a person, a place, a thing, because you have to remember the 3 levels of understanding. Okay? So, I've been on here about an hour, guys. But I definitely wanted to come to you. And I wanted to at least bring something to your ears, tickle your ears about what I've been dealing with, what I've been focused on. Sorry guys, I'm killing a damn mosquito. How I get in here? Oh God, no. So, thank you guys for tuning in once again. You are tuned in to the sounds of dark matter readings. I am your hostess, Majestica Melanin. I am also, before I go, I am honored to have met and talked to new members of the NU-age Society. Do not forget, family, to go over to Black Rain on Patreon and become a Patreon member. There you can inquire about the NU-age Society membership that I'm offering to those who are interested in joining a community of innovators and thinkers and movers, and just a special group of people who are doing awesome, transformative things for the melanated race and for themselves and for their families. And they are just as passionate and involved, and they are serious, basically, and I've never met a group so powerful. I'm excited about the possibilities of what we are going to do next. Please stay in tune, stay in touch, because the things that we will be bringing into the society has never been done before. And I need us to begin to connect again. We need to start intermingling, getting away from, the isolation and the, separation that we've been forced into. So, like I said, NU-age Society is a movement. If you would like to be involved, you can also email Poeticmentor at gmail.com. Inquire about NU-age Society, and I will definitely send you some information. I don't like to advertise it too much because it is a private venture where we will be doing retreats, workshops, special events, different community organizing, and bringing, thought leaders together. And I'm excited about that. I'm definitely excited for 2021. It's the new year, and I wish you all the very best. And I wish and I pray and I am speaking into existence your prosperity. Thank you. Peace.